Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rest and Rise podcast. I'm Zoe,
And I'm Emma.
and today we are going to talk about reflexology. Now, yesterday I had a very lovely treatment with Emma, who has been treating me now for close to 10 years, I'd say. And every time I go in, Emma is basically a witch and can do
I
treatment.
like that. I like
But
that title.
I originally had a reflexology session that somebody really kindly gifted me. Um, and I was hooked. So I always ask Emma to put some reflexology in whatever is going on. Sometimes it might be a sports massage, sometimes it might be face massage, it might be, you know, all kinds of things that are going on with the body that Emma can treat. But for me, the reflexology, and we normally slide in at the end, is just like the one of the best treatments that I think I have had.
Oh,
So I had one yesterday. Feel amazing today. So we can
yay.
take a deep dive into it. And Emma, I'll hand over to you. So, what is reflexology in a nutshell?
Yeah, so this is my double life because obviously, usually we're on here talking about rest and rise, but I have another business which we briefly talked about before, which is how we met, called EJK Wellness, which is where I practice reflexology, sports massage, and as you said, some face reflexology and massage as well. And I also do wellness coaching. So the combination of the three work really well together. So reflexology, very briefly, is very similar to acupuncture or acupressure in that it focuses on different parts of the body, in this case, usually the feet, sometimes the hands or the face. And these different parts of the body represent other parts of your body. So, for example, I can work through your digestive system or your reproductive system. If anyone is watching this on the YouTube channel, I can show you a little thing here, which is I've got a foot that I was gifted, which shows all of the reflex points in the foot. So, by me working through these points
Oh,
in your
girl, crying.
oh, bless. In your feet or sometimes your hands or face, we're actually working through other parts of your body. And I use very similar techniques as I do with massage in terms of what I'm looking for is hard areas or areas that are soft, a bit squishy where they shouldn't be, changes in temperature, changes in color. And this will kind of give me an idea of what is going on in your body. And whatever I find, it's not like, oh my God, there's something wrong with your digestive system. It's just telling me that either it's working too hard or not hard enough. So the other thing with reflexology is we never claim to fix something, but what
Yeah.
we do try to do is rebalance. So we return your body to the way that it functions when it is working well.
So, am I right in thinking that it is rooted in TCM, so traditional Chinese medicine?
Very
And
similar, although it dates back. I mean, there are actually pictures in ancient Egypt of people working through feet. So actually, it goes back for, many years. But there are references in all different cultures, but very similar to TCM.
yeah.
Again, as I said, sort of like acupuncture, acupressure. There's the use of meridian lines, which are the lines of energy that flow through our bodies. So yes, similar.
For me, um I just really love having my feet touched, and I
Yes.
find it's a really relaxing thing. But I know that some people are a little bit weird about it, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I find it a really relaxing practice, but
Yeah.
also really quite powerful one. Like I came into you yesterday, didn't I? I said I feel
Mm,
quite hormonal today,
yeah.
in the sense of, I wasn't like angry, raging, or whatever. It was a kind of real brain fog, and I
Mhm.
felt, I always felt a bit jet lagged, like the change in the clocks and
Yeah.
like the change in the season had just kind of got me.
I
Um,
think your words were your head feels detached from your
from
body.
my body.
Yeah.
And honestly, I left that treatment feeling like I'd come home to myself, like I'd
Yeah.
landed back in my body. And my afternoon was such a stark contrast to my
Mm.
morning. And the only thing punctuating the day was the treatment.
Yeah. It,
Um,
it's very powerful. And I think some of that depends on the practitioner. We all obviously, I've been trained a certain way. There are different methods, but the knowledge is what it is. But I think just who you are as a person as well. So I am obviously also a massage therapist. So when I work on someone's feet, I always say to them, you will feel like you're having a foot massage and a lower leg massage because that's the technique that I use. I still work through the reflex points, but it's very soothing, nurturing, relaxing. I have reflexology with another lady who is taught a different method from South Africa, and it's a little bit more brisk. She doesn't use oils or anything. It's still deeply relaxing, but it's just a different way of doing things. I have had some clients come to me who've had reflexology somewhere else and have said that it's actually been quite painful. I've never um, had that from any of my clients. But again, I think that's there's no right or wrong. I'm not shaming any other reflexologists out there. I think we all like any job in the world, you take the role and you put your own spin on it. But with my other training and treatments that I do, I try to make it a very nurturing and healing
Bring it
experience. And as you know, I dim the lights down. You have a blanket. I also use hot stones a lot of the time as well, particularly in the winter time. So
Yeah.
for me, not only is the reflexology practice itself very healing, but also the environment is very important as
You like
well.
you build a treatment around it almost, an
Exactly.
experience around it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And touch itself isn't actually sort of really too hard. It doesn't need to be too hard to be effective, does
No,
it?
no, not at all. And actually, I don't know many other people that use hot stones. My teacher taught me that as a separate course, and he's since stopped. So I couldn't even tell anyone else where to go. But the hot stones are really lovely because they kind of deepen the treatment and accentuate it. So the warmth of the stones themselves are deeply relaxing for muscles because our feet still have muscles and fascia. So the warmth really helps to loosen that as well. But also it kind of, I'll go over with my hands first and then just glide the stones over, and that heat kind of accentuates what we're working on as well. And
Lovely.
so
And
it
really
makes it,
supported by the
yeah,
stones just underneath the almost lower calf, really like the
yeah,
Achilles, isn't it, where
yeah,
you press, and you can just feel that heat build.
yeah,
But our feet do so much work for us, and I know from my
exactly.
trainings that a lot of things in the body uh, stem from the feet. Right. So a lot of
Absolutely.
ailments that we have, if we just look after our feet a little bit better,
Yeah.
um, it
I mean, I always say, obviously, we only have one set. We're not like a car. We can't change our tires. And these feet literally carry us from birth to death. That's a lot of steps. That's a lot of weight to carry. It's a lot of support, particularly in a day not so much these days, but when I was younger, I tortured them with high heels and things like that as well. I mean, now my
wrong
kids go
footwear
out in
for the
Crocs,
wrong
which is
purpose.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yet they literally carry us through everything. You have, injuries, it changes your gait, in which case, perhaps one side is getting worked harder than the other side. So, yeah, a problem with your feet, it literally goes from the ground up and can affect everything.
It's amazing actually because so many times I've been for you, and if we split a treatment and say
Mm,
I've come to you with a really sore upper back, I'm really tight in my shoulders a lot of times, especially when I was training quite a lot in the gym, I'd have lots of tightness in
mm,
my upper back, and then you'd be doing something at a certain point in my foot and I'd go, oh whoa,
yeah,
that's bristly, and you'd say upper back. Or
yeah.
I remember coming in once and I'd had like a really bad cough or chest
Mm,
infection, and I was like, "Oh, that's just a little bit juicier and more tender than the rest of the body." And you're like, "Oh yeah, that's your diaphragm."
yeah.
It's
Not everybody has that. It does happen quite regularly. I mean, you are someone who's very in tune with your body, and a lot of people also feel, like tingling up their arm, or,
yeah,
sometimes like a sort of like a tingling on their scalp. And it tends to be people who are very aware of what's going on with their body. But at the very least, even if you don't feel any of that, at the very least, it's deeply relaxing.
yeah.
And a lot of people actually fall asleep. And I've never known anyone to leave feeling worse for. lying there and, having a lovely foot rub under a blanket with some candles. So if nothing else, people tend to leave feeling deeply,
Yeah.
deeply relaxed.
I
And
always,
most people report a really good night's sleep afterwards as
yeah.
well.
I always feel a shift in energy, and whether
Mhm.
that's a shift that makes me go, God, I want to lay down this afternoon and just take it a little bit easier, or I feel really energized. But there's always something that shifts, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
For people who perhaps wouldn't like their feet touched, and I know that because one of my best friends, she's just like, I cannot have my
yeah,
feet touched.
yeah,
It grosses me out. If I'm getting a massage, I
yeah.
do not want it. Where would you say is the next best
So
part
hands
of
hands can also be worked, but they are just smaller, so it's harder to do, and um, arguably not quite as relaxing. But yes, you can work through hands as well, and face reflexology is also a thing.
yeah,
So if you really are adverse to it, although having said that, I would always encourage someone to just give it a try. I had a lady after you yesterday, actually, my final client of the day. And I've been treating her about as long as I've been treating you, for years. And she's always been like, no, no, no feet, no feet, no feet. And she's training for high rocks at the moment, which
oh,
is like
wow,
really intense. Yeah.
yeah.
And she just said the fascia on the arches of her feet just feel really tight. And I just said, look, just let me, just let me. And
Yeah.
I didn't do a full reflexology treatment, but I used the hot stones and I just worked through.
Oh,
And she is now sold after
yeah.
years of her not letting me go near her
That's
feet.
it.
She's now like, I'm booking in, I'm doing a full session.
Sometimes I just think you need to just try it, and then
I
you're
would
like,
say if
oh,
unless you are really, really have an issue with it,
adamant that
but
you
give it a whirl, because although some people are quite conscious about me touching their feet, this is just my job, this is what I do,
you
like
see
any other
loads of feet.
professional, this is I deal with bodies all day long. Feet do not bother me in the
No.
slightest. And actually, for me, it's actually a really lovely treatment to do. I find it very calming.
Good.
It's almost like going into a meditation, because you have this flow that you go through. You can feel when somebody drops into relaxation, and the energy, exactly as you said, the energy shifts, and it's just a really lovely, gentle treatment. And as I said, a lot of people actually fall asleep.
Yeah, no, me included in.
Yes, which doesn't happen because usually we chat, but this
Yeah.
time, this time you were very rested, so
In
that's
and
good.
out, in and
I
out.
take it as a huge compliment if someone is relaxed enough to really rest when they're with me. It means I've done my
Good.
job well.
Good. Well, thanks, Emma, and thank you for my treatment yesterday.
Oh, well.
If anybody would like a treatment with Emma, watch your watch me now not be able to get in with you for
Yes.
reflexology.
So
I'll be
I
so
am, although obviously you all know us from Rest and Rise, I am in Stratford-upon-Avon, and this is something that has to be done in person, unfortunately. So if you're local to that area, then please do have a look at EJK Wellness. That's
we'll
my
tag it.
website, and
We'll
you can book
tag
in
it on the
there.
podcast.
But otherwise, for us, we have got another Rest and Rise workshop in the pipeline coming up on the 27th of April, which you can find at restandrise.uk. And you
Tag the Eventbrite in it as well, actually.
lovely, yes. And within the membership, we've got lots of lovely guest speakers lined up, and you can listen to the podcast through there or wherever you get your podcasts. And this video, among others, will end up on our YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening and
Thank
for
you,
joining
everyone,
us.
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you, Zoe. Bye.